We're live. Hi, this is Dr. Gilbert. And why are we not bigger? Can I make this bigger a little bit? But anyway, okay, let's do it. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, here we are. Dr. Gilbert here with Kevin, the student doctor, and Rachel Matthews. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? And first of all, we have to say happy birthday to Rachel.
Yes, happy
She
birthday.
turned 30 for the 18th time, apparently.
Oh, do you know that feels worse, I think, than just saying I'm 48? When you said I was 30 for 18 times, that felt bad.
Sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
No, I'm teasing. Yes, I turned 48, loved it, had a great birthday weekend. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. Lots of patients have been wishing me happy birthday too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yes. And we are talking about sleep. Yeah, sleep smarter.
There it is.
Working our way through that book. And what chapter are we on, Rachel?
We are on chapter 5.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Be cool. Yeah. Well, that's easy for you. That's easy for Kevin. I have a harder time being cool. Now I'm pretty cool.
Well, how's it been going though on your sleep challenge?
Yeah. Ooh.
Right? Haven't you been on?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Last time I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But this week, I am doing really well. I did not take the computer to bed with me one day this week. So I feel really good about that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. And I tell you what, the accountability of coming back and talking to people, being real about it, that's major. Yeah, that's major. But it felt good. And I have to tell you, well, the other thing I'm doing, I didn't say this to you, but actually my sleep was better last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And Rachel, we'll talk about this a little bit because I've changed up some of the things I'm eating. And I didn't want to tell Kevin, but I'm going to tell him now that, yeah, I actually slept better. So,
okay. We'll have to talk more.
Yeah. Well, more for later.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, we're talking about keeping it cool. So take it away. You and Kevin read the chapter really well. Mm-hmm. So Rachel, quiz him.
Okay. Well, so of course we're reading from the Sleep Smarter book, the chapter on being cool. So again, remember that these are all, this book is all about ideas, tips, suggestions for improving your sleep quality, sleep quantity, sleep hygiene. It's all the things. So if you don't know about this book, get a copy yourself. Certainly follow along with us every Monday. We're working through the book. We're only on chapter 5. And this chapter, he's talking about being cool, meaning keeping your body cooler for sleep. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about why that's important. Why do we need to be cool? What's happening?
Well, I don't know exactly all the physiology you might be hinting at here, but one of the things that happens during sleep is, our metabolism is better regulated, and I'm not ready for that question, Rachel, but I can dive into something that I took from the chapter, which was our bodies sleep much more easily at a cooler temperature. And this study that I'm referencing from the chapter was they compared people who are having a hard time sleeping, insomniacs, versus your healthy control study. And they lowered the temperature in the insomniac's room, and they ended up sleeping better and at a faster, they could fall asleep faster than the people who were the healthy controls.
Oh.
Despite not really changing anything else in their program.
You just change the temperature of the room.
Just change the temperature.
And you sleep better.
Yeah.
What are we talking about as far as temperature wise?
Well, the power tip number 1, and by the way, Kevin, that's exactly what I was asking. So you answered the question perfectly. Why do we need to stay cool? We sleep better when our body core temperature, because our temperature is dropping anyway. If you look at the circadian rhythm, circadian cycles, our bodies go through this heating stage during the day, and this book talks a lot about that too. And then our bodies start to cool in the later evening, and we need to keep that cooling. If we get too warm, we can't sleep as well. So power tip number 1, the recommendation here is between 60 and 68 degrees. So remember,
that's a big range.
It's a big range. And I think it's really important to recognize that not everybody's the same, right? Mm-hmm. Some people, depending on their age, medical conditions, how warm or insulated their house is. There's a lot of different variables. So somewhere in that cooling area, but we want to feel a little cool to our skin. Unless you're under the covers, you want to feel a little bit cool.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. We keep our house temperature at 65 degrees
Mhm.
during this time of the year. So I think then we're pretty set for sleep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And if you,
go ahead.
oh, I was going to just say, if you have a thermostat, and you want to have it up, like I'm working from home. And so I keep my house a little warmer during the day because I'm here rather than being in an office. But I have it to switch over around 7 o'clock is when I start to cool the house down. Right. And it helps kind of, for me, if I'm starting to feel chilled at night, it's kind of like a little bit of a reminder. Oh yeah, that's because I need to go to bed. It's kind of a little bit of a reminder. Ooh, it's cooling time. So setting your thermostat's a great way to not have to worry about
Right. And that can be an automatic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the thermostat. Yeah.
Exactly. So his next idea is taking a warm bath. His power tip number 2, take a warm bath a couple of hours before bed. What happens there? Do you guys know what's happening when you're taking a warm bath?
Mm.
Well, from reading it, and I just applied the principles of there's always the primary effect and there's a secondary effect. You have coffee, as we talked about one of the things, and then the secondary effect is you come down. So you get up from coffee energy, but then the secondary effect is always longer than the primary effect, right? So the primary effect, boom, up with energy, but then low energy from the crash. But with this one, you get to use the benefits nicely because you get the relaxing warm bath, which drives your body temperature up. So you're thinking, well, that's supposed to cool down. But the secondary effect is cool down, and it stays cool for a long time. So you do it with children, like it's our bedtime routine. And some of the patients who have come through here, I've recommended it to you as your nighttime routine. Because once you don't have children to take care of, it's nice to pamper yourself and take the nice relaxing bath, part of your bedtime routine. But it sets up for great sleep as well.
It really does. And I love that, setting it up as part of your bedtime routine, meaning it's what you do every night. You're brushing your teeth, and it doesn't have to be a long thing. You don't have to think of it as an overwhelming, like, I don't have time for this. Think of something as long as you can, but that it's really that self-pampering. And in fact, I'll give away a little something here. He's going to talk about magnesium and how magnesium can be an excellent tool for sleep. And you can use Epsom salts, and those typically have magnesium in them. So put them in your bath, and now you got like a double whammy.
Right. Because you're actually absorbing some of that in through your skin. Yeah.
I don't know how many we're going to layer here, but there's a couple of chapters that can get layered into that bath time routine. Yeah.
It really can. So we'll just keep building on these routines and building the value into this evening routine.
Yeah. Great. Awesome.
I love that. All right. Another idea, the third power tip he gives is talking about a cooling pad. So this was new to me. When I read this book, I didn't know anything about cooling sheets, cooling pads. What do you guys know about this? And have you ever tried them? I have not tried them yet.
Right. Well, I did a little looking into a cooling pad because I tend to sleep hot. So I was thinking, maybe it was a little on the spendy side. Yeah. So it's a little bit of an investment. Rather than a cooling pad, I chose to buy some material that stays cool and in a blanket form, but it just stays cool. And that seemed to work for a while. But I'm really intrigued by the cooling pad. What do you know about cooling pads? Anything?
I've never had a need for a cooling pad. I was going to toss. Well, one thing that Rachel was mentioning was, some people run different temperatures for night. There's a range from 60 to 68. But even the amount of body fat you have on you, that'll determine it. Even the foods you're eating will also determine how hot you're running at night as well.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to plead ignorance. I didn't know about cooling pad until I was reading this book.
Yeah. So it's an interesting topic. There are even cooling pillows, and my son got one for his birthday last year, and it was a little on the spendy side. I think a friend of his bought it for him. It was like $60, but so that's expensive for a pillow. But he swears by it. He loves it, and you can feel it to the touch when you put your face on it or your hand. You can feel that it like it's pulling the heat out of your head. It's really interesting. I thought that might be helpful for people with migraines as well, because we talk about cooling the head when you have migraines. So there are some things in this book I think that he recommends that are some are easy and cheap and free, and then some are on the bendy side. So we can certainly always start with the easy ideas and work your way through. There are so many different scenarios. And of course, I think in a scientific mind, I think try one thing,
Right.
and don't try it all.
Variable, keep everything else the same. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. The last power tip he gives is to wear socks for your cold toes. So if you're cold, you may not be able to fall asleep. So it's okay to keep your feet warm if that will help you sleep. It's okay to, you don't have to be freezing. You shouldn't be freezing and shivering, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the point of staying cool. You're not like cold all night long. That will not give you good sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I love to jump into a cold bed though, and to know that my body will warm me up to a temperature that will allow sleep.
Yeah.
But I have never worn socks to bed. I've never worn socks to bed.
Always. I am only socks. It's the only thing I'll wear. It's the only thing I'll wear to bed. Only socks. The window's always open. I don't care what time of year. The window's open. Fresh air is a necessity. For 8 hours, I'm going to be in there for 1/3 of my life.
A third of your.
I'm going to have fresh air. Otherwise, I'm not properly oxygenating my body. So my kids, like the doors, the window's open.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm with you on that.
cold sometimes, and so socks are on. Yeah.
Yep, Kevin, I don't wear socks to bed, but I do. We always have the windows open in our bedrooms. Even in the winter in the house, I try to have the windows open as much as possible. But I love that fresh, cold air, and I can add an extra blanket on my bed if it gets, when it gets really cold. But that fresh air, man, it is invigorating. And I think to that point of what you said about maybe sleeping in the nude, but with socks, everybody's got to try out what works for them. For some, having pajamas, but it's helpful to think of like there are jammies that are more cooling, right? That can be and that aren't binding, or that when you move, if you roll over, it's not pinching or binding. So it really is important to invest a little bit of energy finding what really works for you. Don't just wear something because you've always worn it or you think that's what you should wear.
Right.
It's actually helping you sleep better, or would it be better to not to wear anything? Really important.
Yeah, try different things. And what I love is at the end of the book is this 14-day, fix your sleep thing. And so, and you're tracking the different things that you're trying. And it's amazing with a little thought and tracking and an understanding of how important sleep is. Like Kevin said, 1/3 of our lives we're going to be spending in bed, right? And it's so important that we want to do it well, and we can with a few little tweaks.
Yes.
So many people don't sleep well. I mean, it's a huge problem. And it's and I'm just going to say, honestly, it's something that a lot of times our doctors really don't help us with. But there's so many things that we can do for ourselves that are going to improve our sleep, and then in improving our sleep, we're going to improve the quality of our health and then the quality of our lives.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting point that you just raised, that so often our doctors themselves aren't sleeping well, right? From medical school, from residency, from all these things, they've had to get by on such little sleep, and it becomes kind of their norm. So maybe it's not on their radar as much of a, if they're not sleeping well. And I remembered your stories, Dr. Gilbert, of that lack of sleep. And so to make it a priority for our patients, if we're not sleeping well and it's not in our radar and we don't value it, right? What we value, what we know is healthy, that's where we really get behind it and start to promote that.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So we've said happy birthday. We'll also want to address the day that is Halloween today, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to be an ogre and my light's going to be off.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin? Are you doing any celebrations tonight with your kids?
I've got 4 young kids, so we still do Halloween in our way, and so we do it. Families come over that want to do the healthy Halloween, and they bring over the parts for the scavenger hunt. I have a map that lays out to the neighborhood, and the kids, everybody can dress up, because kids like to do these. These are what the kids really want for Halloween: to dress up, to be with their friends, to go out and see other people and see the creativity of Halloween, see that. And they like to get some treats. And so they go out to the scavenger hunt and find the various treats. So they get they tick all the boxes of the holiday.
Yeah.
Without any of the unhealthy consequences.
Right.
And
Yeah, I think that's super.
And I leave my door on just to say hi to kids.
I know.
And let them
Well,
know,
okay,
let
all
them know
right.
what's up. Yeah.
I have apples at
Yeah.
the door, so if you want an apple, come see me.
We just do nuts. Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I love it. I love that's a great idea. Options and ideas, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing, one or the other.
Right.
There's a way to, and I love, Kevin, that you're getting creative. You're really getting creative with your kids, and you're involving, and that's what they really want too, is to do this with you as a parent.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll say healthy Halloween.
Healthy Halloween.
I carved my pumpkin this year with an apple into the pumpkin.
Oh.
So yeah, it's like that level of corny health at our house.
All right.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Happy
And
holidays.
Yeah, and this is Kevin's last with us here. So it's been a great pleasure to have him, and we've been learning a lot.
Mhm.
And he's going to be great as a physician and bringing healing to his patients. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes, we will miss you, Kevin. Just a little interaction I've had with you has been such a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to keeping in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Have a great one.
Bye-bye. Very good.